The auditor introduced herself and asked what I was working on. Normally, this would be routine. You answer, show the documentation, demonstrate the process, move on. But Carl's rule sat heavy in my mind, and the written email was sitting in my inbox like a loaded trap. I told her I wasn't allowed to speak with anyone from outside the company unless my manager or QA was present. She paused, confused, as if I had just answered in another language. She asked if I understood who she was. I nodded. She had introduced herself clearly, but I repeated the same line, word for word. Instructions were instructions. She asked if I could show her those instructions. That was the one thing I was ready for. The moment I saw her badge, I had quietly printed the email. So I asked her to wait and walked over to the printer. I handed her the paper. Her expression changed instantly. She read it carefully, thanked me, and walked off the floor without another question. I stood there alone, listening to the hum of the test rigs and my own heartbeat. Carl wanted total control. I had given him exactly what he asked for. The next morning's stand-up felt different. Management usually ignored our meetings, but that day regional leadership walked in with Carl trailing behind them. His face was tight, like he hadn't slept. Carl cleared his throat and announced that technicians were now allowed to speak to external visitors again. He said it like he was offering us a gift. I raised my hand to ask whether that meant the policy was officially reversed. He cut me off to say the email had already gone out. But the room knew something had shifted. His voice had lost its bite. Something had happened behind closed doors, something heavy enough to crack the control he'd clung to. And 10 minutes later, I finally learned what it was.